and make a quick opening statement if we don't trip over the mic cables.
He won't.
That's
He's
a
an athlete.
priority there.
Cutting one off there.
Gentlemen, we're so glad that you're here, both of your teams, your delegations from both schools, and we're thrilled to have you both here for the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco Bowl. And with Utah State being the visiting team, I guess both of you are visitors, but officially the visiting team, we'll go ahead and let you begin with an opening statement about this year's bowl game.
Well, first of all, this has been a fantastic opportunity for our kids. It's a first-class bowl. It's ran the right way with a whole bunch of people that care about the universities that are here and the kids that are here. We've had an opportunity to be a few of these bowls. And again, I just reiterate, it's big time, first class. Kids are very well taken care of. So any team that has an opportunity to come here in the future is very blessed, and tremendous opportunity for their team and the university to participate in this. We're looking forward to the game. Kent State obviously is a football team that battled like crazy to get to the point they are right now. We did the same. So many close football games on both sides of these teams. You look at the year and the schedule and how these guys on both of these football teams, Utah State and Kent State, won games. You see a tough football team. They both play the game the right way, in my opinion. They battle, they fight, they believe in each other. When it gets tight, they found a way to win close football games, which gave them the opportunity to be here today. So, again, just a great opportunity for our university to be here, and a great time has been had. And we'll look forward to, putting on a good football show on tomorrow night.
Yeah, to echo a lot of the same sentiments, we talked to our kids a bunch for to earn the opportunity to have a reward at a bowl site. And when we got the invitation to come down here to Frisco, we knew it was going to be a first-class deal. Talked to Coach Solich, him and his team being down here a year ago. He couldn't sing enough praises about the way this bowl was ran. Talking to the kids as we came over, been fortunate to get to a few places as a player, as a coach, and this is a first-class, top-of-the-line bowl. So couldn't be more happy to be here. It's been a great week of events. We got two great competitive football teams. Again, there's a lot of similarities in the way that we play, and the pillars and the core values and the philosophies that we're building our programs on. So looking forward to competing tomorrow night. It'll be an honor to share the field with Utah State, the players and the coaching staff. It's going to be a fun game.
Okay, now we'll open it up to questions. You see, we do have some players from each team here. They'll be available for one-on-ones following the press conference, along with our head coaches. But now we'll open it up to questions, and we have our friendly staff over here from the Frisco Bowl ready to take the microphone from you. Please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question.
Hey, we're done.
Yeah, wow.
Easy enough. Flash fast. Let's roll.
Right there in the red. Please go ahead. Let's get the microphone over to you, and please identify yourself, please.
Yeah, Dalton Renshaw, Utah Statesman. Coach Lewis, your final 4 games this season, you won the final 3. You almost won that 4th. Is there something in particular you guys did to kind of turn things around at that point in the season, pull those wins out?
There was no one thing. There was no one message. It was a culmination of what the kids have done through the past 2 years. When we came in, we knew that we had to instill a culture of a workman's-like attitude, being tough, but yet having fun and trusting one another and being smart. So the kids have embodied that for the past 2 years, and it, you get through some adversity there, and we're sitting there 3-6, and the kids pulled tight. They believed in one another, and then we found a way. There was a lot of good lessons that we learned from the first year and the first half of this season. Those lessons we carried forward, and we were able to find ourselves on the right side of the ledger and find a way to score one more point than those other teams. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So we get the opportunity to be here, and it's a testament to our kids' resolve, their grit, their toughness, and the tremendous job the staff had done.
Right up front there, please.
Jason Walker, Utah Statesman. So, Coach Andersen, you guys have forced a lot of turnovers this season. Kent State doesn't give up a lot of turnovers. How big is that going to be for your defense to force turnovers in this game and create more chances for your offense?
Well, the turnovers are obviously a huge part of every football game. Our ability to be able to get our hands on the ball when the opportunity presents itself is important. And it's just as important on the other side, on the offense, to make sure that we don't turn it over. So, we've been just okay in that category. That's probably being a little bit nice. When you overall see our numbers, we're in the minus area for turnovers for the season, and that's not where you want to be. So we've done some good things on the defensive side of the ball. Hopefully that can continue as you go through, and when opportunity presents itself, you need to jump on it. But there's so many things that go into play in a football game that are important. Turnovers is definitely one of them, and both sides will be seeking that ball when they're playing defense, I'm sure.
Who else here? Not all at once.
Really? Right there in the back, please, yes. Right there. The videographer right there in the back.
Coach Gary Andersen, Mitch Myers from TV2. Just talk about Kent State's rush defense. That's something they struggle with, of course, in the past. So, taking a look at that and kind of taking a look at their defense, how do you exploit that?
You want to punch him or you want me to?
I got a great relationship with Mitch, so he'll be flying back with us, so I'll handle it then.
You'll handle it later. Yeah. There goes your Christmas present, buddy. You could look at both defenses at times, and they've played very well against the run, and they're not so well against the run. And I think that there's opponents that go into that. And when you play the schedules that we play, and the opponents that we play, these guys had Wisconsin, Auburn, Arizona State. Things can get real skewed. I think what you need to do when you talk about those things is let's look at that and let's break down our conference and see how we did. And that's what I do. I dive into the conference, and when the playing field is leveled out a little bit and gives you those opportunities to see how they're playing against common opponents within their conference. And so I don't see the holes that many people think they may see when you get into that situation. I don't see it really on either side in some of the stats that are out there on defense. So I think you got two defenses that play hard, and it's just a perfect example of when you look at the numbers and see who they're playing, when they're playing, when they played good rush defense and they had to be able to put themselves and be able to win a game. Perfect example for that is our team. Fresno State, we couldn't stop the fly sweep all day long. We find a way in the fourth quarter to stop a fly sweep, and then Jacoby makes a great play on 3rd and 6 inches, and then we have a chance to win the game. Other than that, we probably don't. We go into overtime and possibly not win the game. And so these guys are opportunistic. They're tough. They battle. They fight. So I don't get caught up in too many numbers, I guess I'd say, in a long way to answer your question.
And then Coach Lewis, being shorthanded on the defense without Matt Barr and without Jamal Parker for the first half, kind of what steps have you taken this last week to kind of make that not evident?
Yeah, again, it kind of goes to everything that we've instilled from day one with next man up, and we lost Jamal in the second half of the game against Eastern Michigan, so we had young guys rise to the occasion. Matt's been a significant contributor for the 6 years that he's been in our program, but has really turned into a rotational player through the second half of the season, and Cepeda Phillips and Mandela Lawrence Burke have stepped up in a big-time way. So, again, in every spot, and Coach Andersen will probably echo the same thing, that, it's next man up, and you got to make sure that you're trained, you're prepared for when your opportunity comes. And it's a great stage and a great opportunity here at the Frisco Bowl to take advantage of that.
To the right over here.
For Coach Andersen, this is Chris Vanine from The Athletic. You had a few players get in trouble earlier this week. I know the school said they are eligible to play. What is their status for the game?
Well, the first thing is, I think it's important. Everyone in this room knows that everything that you read in every article is absolutely 100% accurate. Right? So as we go through there, the school was forced, some attorneys were forced to make a statement on obviously an article that had a bunch of holes in it and was not truthful, so all the way through truthful. So where it all sits and where it all comes out in the end is we'll see, but I'm excited to see where it comes out in the end because I believe where it goes, and I just hope the people that make statements, whoever made the statement, I'm not saying the guy that wrote the article, somebody got information some way, but obviously there was some inaccurate pieces to that article, I would suppose. You would know that by the way that the university reacted. You would know that by the way that the attorneys involved reacted, and there were some statements in there that were not truthful. So I just hope at the end of this whole thing that those people can have the same miserable day that those kids had when these articles come out, right? I hope they can have those same miserable days. So, and I'll work hard if I can to make sure that those days are miserable for those people. They won't be as miserable, but it's it's highly irritating to put kids in this setting, in this situation, at a bowl game, and to have them go through, those hours and those times just because somebody told somebody something that obviously wasn't completely correct. It's a shame. It really is a shame. It's a pity. I could go on and on if you want me to, but I won't.
This would be Jordan's last game either way. Is he going to play?
Is Jordan going to play?
Yes.
Yeah, there was never any thought that he wouldn't play. We have policies set up just like the university statement. Now, that's a real statement. So if you want to read that statement, that's something from people who really care about kids and believe in things, believe in giving them the opportunity to go. So read the university statement. It's pretty clear that Jordan would obviously play, and it's not a bunch of just verbal whatever, or written. I'm almost stop before I get myself in a little bit of trouble.
Any other questions over here for Coach Andersen or Coach Lewis? Right here, please. To your left, gentlemen.
Coach Lewis, Rob Polinsky, Kent State Radio. Last year, first year, 2-10. This year, in your second year, to get to 6-6 and to this point, did this group exceed your expectations? Are you ahead of your plan with what you did with the last half of this year and getting to this point?
I'm happy with where we're at. I wouldn't say that we're ahead of schedule, behind schedule, on schedule. You know, we kind of take it day by day and doing the next thing right, finding ways to improve our best on a daily basis, and then showing up and performing when the Flash Fast family needs you to do so. These kids have done a tremendous job, obviously, in between the white lines to get here to play in this special bowl game. Really proud of our kids. We got the highest team GPA, CUME-wise, that we've ever had in a very long time. You know, we had 2 students that reached a 4.0. You know, we got 19 kids that are on the dean's list. So not only are these kids excelling on the field to be here for this great reward for their hard work on the field, but they're doing it off the field as well. So we're going to keep finding ways to get better. You know, we'll do that today, and hopefully we'll show up and perform to our capabilities on Friday against a really good team. And we'll keep going, keep our nose to the grindstone. Work works, and wherever that puts us on schedule, that's where you guys can decide where we're at.
In the red, right over here to your right, please.
Coach Andersen, you mentioned on Friday how much you expect the team to come out for your seniors and give them one more game, and a lot of your seniors have been really a pillar to your team this season. How much do you expect them to kind of carry you guys on the field tomorrow?
Well, there's a reason why the seniors sit in the front row of our team room. Those kids are playing. The whole football team is playing for the seniors because it is their last opportunity, whether it's their last day of fall camp or it's their last rep of the first game they played into the season. It's their last time, and I want as many of those opportunities to be valuable experiences and fun memories for those seniors as much as possible. And, you know, the kids are playing for that, and they're playing for Aggie Nation, and that's really where it kind of stops and starts, in my opinion. So I expect the seniors to come out and play their best games, and I'm sure both teams expect that, and I expect the kids to really rally around their teammates. And it's like I always say, this is, you know, there's seasons are long and years are long for the kids, and there's so many hours and things they put in, but now it's down to a very short period of time. And so this team's going to be together for, you know, a couple days, and then they'll never, ever be together again. After that, they're going to scatter all over the country, and some of them will come back, and January 4th or January 6th, we'll start this whole thing up with some new faces and a bunch of familiar faces, but this team will never be together again. So if you can't bow up and fight for that for one moment for your kids, because of, you know, there's times when football's a team sport, and you fight, and when things are right, you fight. When things are wrong, you fight, okay? If and those situations come about, and you fight for your buddies, you fight for your teammates, in good and bad. And I expect them to fight hard on Friday against a very good team, and, you know, Kent State's going to do the same thing. So I think you're going to have a really good football game, and we both have high expectations for our programs. It's obvious, and so the similarities are there. So they'll fight for each other.
Any other questions for our head coaches? Yes, in the back, TV2.
I mean, both of you can answer this question, but your guys' relationship with each other, I mean, you both have been at Wisconsin before, not the same time, but you guys know of each other, and seeing you guys talk, it seems like a good relationship. So if you guys want to talk about that.
I mean, we met for the first time when I was an assistant at another school, and Coach was, you know, back at Camp Randall. Got a brief interaction then, just exchanged pleasantries, you know, and then this week's been really cool, you know, the same way that our players have been able to interact a little bit, Coach and I have been able to interact a little bit, and again, through shared conversations, you know, we're kind of joking that probably next year if we're both down here again, we'll just have a inter-squad practice together and kind of, you know, work out some kinks before we go. But, you know, it's cool. It's a neat thing about the bowl experiences for our kids. A lot of our kids haven't been to Texas before, you know, but you get to meet new people, experience new things. You see kind of the fun competition that happened last night at the bowl event, in the impromptu dance-off, and all those things. The kids handle it the right way. It's a testament to Coach Andersen, his staff, his character, and the way he leads his program. And again, you can tell there's a mutual respect because we do things the same way, and we kind of operate on the same frequency. So it's been a pleasure to be around him and his team.
Yeah, much of the same for me. It's just it's a little harder for me because now I'm the old man and he's the young guy, and it's fun to watch those guys. You know, it is. I sat and watched that Buffalo game and watched those kids battle back, and there was a part of me that you go to the past and you see, excuse me, what's there. But they come back and win that game, and I remember those feelings of having that opportunity to get a team to be bowl eligible for the first time. It's an awesome spot. So I'm happy. I'm happy for Kent State and these guys that got where they got, and to be able to see the programs that again have a lot of similarities and a lot of core beliefs. But yeah, we met on Camp Randall that day, and I learned during the week of practice that Coach had been at Wisconsin and played for Coach Alvarez back in the day, and there was some connections there a little bit. So we met there, but it's been fun to see him. Like I told you, I didn't even know he was there, and all of a sudden, oh, there's Coach Lewis right there out on the field, and he's Kent State now. So I watched that game, and now here we are today. So it's a crazy world we live in, but congratulations. And he'll be doing this a lot longer than I am. I'll be sitting on the couch one day with my feet watching this team, and if he screws it up, I'll make sure I text him and say, "What the hell are you doing there, man?"
Who else? Right up here in the front, please.
Coach Andersen, Ben Pagani, TV2. A lot of Kent State's players talked yesterday about how a bowl win doesn't necessarily define their season. You obviously have a few players who are headed towards the NFL draft, a lot of successful players. Do you get that sense in the locker room from them, or do you as a coach think that winning a bowl game really defines what this team has done all season?
No, there's a couple things to me for that. Is number one, you're playing a bowl game, so you're playing for that, and that's a championship. In my mind, that's the way I look at it. I mean, if they're putting a trophy out there, you're playing for a championship. So it's an important game, and they're all important, but you are playing for a championship. The other thing I would say that it absolutely does not define the season in any way, shape, or form. Our belief is this, and this has always been my belief: if you get to 6 and 7 games, you're a good football team because you get rewarded. A lot of people here from Logan have heard me say this, and you're going to hear me say it 1,000 other times, but that's the facts. If you get to 6 and 7 wins, you're a good football team, and you get rewarded. You have a chance to win one of those, chance to come to an unbelievable atmosphere in a bowl game, right? That's special, so you're good. If you get to 7 and 8, I think you're a great team. That's my opinion. Or, excuse me, 6 and 7 is good, 8 and 9 is great. And if you get double digits, you'll be remembered forever, so you're an elite football team. So, yes, it does mean a lot to come and compete and play for a championship, but it does not define your season. Your whole season as a whole defines yourself, in my opinion, where you get to your win totals, how your kids are in academics, how they're growing as young men, how they are socially. There's so many things to gauge a football team as. And at the end, I realize we're all just measured by our wins and our losses. But for these two dudes sitting right here, I promise you it's a hell of a lot more than just sitting back and saying we won 6 games, 9 games, or 11 games. I guarantee it.
Coach Lewis, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, again, the similarities run deep, right? I mean, it's to bring home a championship trophy, to bring home another victory, and for our kids to finish as winners. Right now we're sitting at 6 and 6, so we can't really call ourselves winners at the end of the day. But to finish 7 and 6 and to be winners and be a winning football team's first one since 2012 for us, obviously that's something that we want to do, something that we want to accomplish. But to say that what happens tomorrow evening in a highly competitive game between two really good teams defines the whole season and defines what these kids have done for the past 365 days, I can't disagree more with that. This is going to be another story, another chapter in a fabulous season and a great run. And hopefully, we're going to put together a first-class game for this first-class experience that we've had all week. But the results of tomorrow, as you well know and have been around me for a long time, we're more about process over anything, and by us doing things the right way, that'll lead to results that we want.
And anyone else? We're going to go last call here. Now, we do have both coaches available for one-on-ones. From Utah State, we have junior receiver Jordan Nathan, and also from Euless Trinity, senior defensive end Tipa Naliai. And
that was pretty good. Did you coach her up on that?
We worked on it. I've covered a few Euless Trinity games back in my day. From Kent State, we have junior quarterback Dustin Crum and senior linebacker Nick Faulkner, also available for one-on-ones, along with our coaches. But first, we are going to take some photos of you gentlemen with the trophy, if you don't mind. We'll go still first, followed by video. Also, I'll take the waters, and we'll take all the stuff here. Stills, if anybody wants to get down in front too, we can get some still images first, and then we'll help you with the B-roll there.